Walking along a path at the roots of Pikes Peak, you take a fork in the road towards the Ansem Society Digital Pub. Inside is a raucous conversation on the arts, faith, and, well, the color of our moods. In the corner by the fire are three people. One of them is struggling to choose a color highlighter from Mandy's extensive selection. What's my mood? And that's me, your co-host, Christina Brown. Welcome to Believe to See, a podcast of the Anselm Society Arts Guild. Here at Believe to See, we explore the relationship between faith, art, and storytelling. Our goal is to connect the great story, the great stories, and our own stories so that we can better understand what it means to live with a Christian imagination. From kindergarten or earlier, children develop favorite colors. They begin to use it to make patterns and draw connections, inquiring peers to reveal their favorite colors, often forging friendships based on a common connection with a color. Color becomes a common conversation topic for a year or two, and go-to question starter for the caregivers in their lives. As adults, most of us have memories of our favorite go-to crayon colors, or the color of the construction paper that we always gravitated towards, or shied away from, in my case, in our elementary school days. We have favorite picture books and toys that resonated with us because of their color scheme. Why is this? Popular psychology argues that our favorite colors say a lot about us, often claiming that our favorite color is actually linked to our personality profiles. Is there any truth to that? Can our favorite colors tell us something about ourselves? Well, I'm here today with my favorite co-hosts, Matt and Mandy, to find out. Hello, guys.
Hello. Do you have other co-hosts that are your less favorite?
Oh, that's a great question. I suppose I do now. So I guess I can't say that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you do. Mark it.
Oh, dear me.
Your favorite Believe to See co-host.
There you go.
Because we were the only existing ones.
Exactly. So I want to talk about color today. It's no secret that colors can influence our mood. There are multiple studies that prove this, and painters like Mark Rothko, we will get to him later, utilize the color in their work to evoke emotional responses in their audiences. And I even guess that each of us can turn up our noses at certain colors, even if it's as simple as an article of clothing that we instinctively avoid.
Matthew, I'm sure you have so many.
Oh, so many. I just have autumn undertones or whatever.
In your skin?
I don't know what it is.
When Peter and I were dating, all he had in his closet were blues and whites, mostly stripes.
Nice.
And so I was like, hey, once we were serious enough that I could, I had a little influence, I merged him over into green. It was the safe bet.
As a green lover, I approve.
Yeah.
But before we kind of go into our own color associations, I want to kind of note first that, just for the listener, color association is really often culturally informed. So, for example, in the Western world, white is the traditional color for brides because it symbolizes purity and virginity and spotlessness and new beginnings. But in many Eastern cultures, white is actually associated with grief. So instead, brides will wear bright and bold colors to symbolize youth and vitality. In the Indian tradition, red is actually very popular. And I actually didn't know until I was doing some of my research for this that was the case. I always wondered, they always have such bright red colors. And now as I guess what you call the foil to grief, being white, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So, and then the other thing I wanted to kind of note before we move on is basically history's overall encounter with color. The accessibility that we as moderns have to color and colorful items is actually really different from what our ancestors had
That's
access
a good
to.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It is.
Even the exposure is just so different. For example, medieval times, it's more relatively recent comparatively for all of history, but the color blue was so rare in paintings, and if you had it in paintings or in clothing, you were considered wealthy because it was so hard to get, right? Or even cultures when the dyeing of clothing was only done through herbs and berries and stuff. There was just an accessibility to colors that really only occurred through the things that they could pull around them and the materials and the science basically they had to incorporate that. And so I even thought about like how much more would we appreciate like the colors of the blooming of like lilacs or lupin meadows or dandelions and violets if we, like today, if we moderns only saw those colors when they bloomed. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, what a different encounter we would have with color. So, anyway, really, nature really was the original encounter that mankind had to color. And so you think about that. There's a lot of cool theology that we could get into if we go down that road.
And that was their only source for making anything else colorful was nature.
Yeah.
It had to come from nature.
Right. Right. I know. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So anyway, I kind of wanted to, put us in this historical context because we're a very color saturated society right now. I don't know that people necessarily would have had the conversation of color psychology,
Right.
So anyway.
What color is your horsehair tunic?
Mine is a spicy mauve.
Well, I spilled beet juice on it, so
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's the other thing is too, like depending on where you lived, certain things grew in certain places. So
yeah.
yes, right? So not everyone would have had access to or know what a beet was.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Interesting.
good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we've talked about the history of color and some of the nuances of those cultural contexts, I want to get into how colors affect us in the West today. So, the most important question of all for this podcast. Mandy and Matthew, what are your favorite colors?
Are you going or am I going? It's very.
Okay, well, I'll start things off. So for years, I was just led by society, right? And society told me my favorite color had to be blue. So I was like, okay, blue. And then for years, the color that I associate myself with for a long time was orange, because orange is the color of my favorite football team, the Broncos. And it's also the national color for the Dutch, my sort of family of origin.
Ancestry.
Right? Yeah, ancestry. And their soccer team always wore bright orange. So it was like, okay, orange. But then when I really delved deep, I had this revelation. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers back when I was in first.
Wow, you did dig deep.
This was like a legit revelation that I had. There were 5 original Rangers. There was the red, the blue, the yellow, the black, and the pink. And then in season 2, they introduced the Green Ranger. And he started off as a bad guy ranger who fought the other ones. Ooh. Then he became good, spoiler alert, and he joined the team, but only sometimes. And I remember thinking, when all 6 were there and you have the Green Ranger, he looks so friggin' cool. And it was like, oh, it all looks balanced and right. But then in the episodes without the Green Ranger, it's like, that just looks complete. I feel weird not having that green there. So then I realized, like, oh, that's my favorite color. So my favorite color is Green Ranger green.
Green Ranger green, which is a bright Kelly green, yeah?
I think it is, right?
Yeah, it has just a touch of blue in it, but it's mainly a bright green.
So you don't associate it with duplicity since he was here and there? And
No. He's put under a spell by Rita Repulsa.
Okay.
It's not his fault.
It's justified.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's fine.
He's fine.
He was a victim, and now he's better.
Victim, now he's better.
But yeah, that's showing them Google images of my favorite colors.
Okay.
That's amazing.
We should have a little
green
slideshow.
Yep.
Isn't it funny though today how like now we can actually say things like Kelly green.
That's
Forest
true.
green,
We can
hunter
specify
green.
sage green.
Olive green.
Yes.
So many colors.
Yes.
Hues.
Yeah.
Okay, Mandy, how about you? What's your favorite color?
Okay, well, it's funny that he brought up orange because my favorite color when I was younger, like when I was really little, I actually don't remember what my actual favorite color was, but I remember, as you said, kids in school were always asking each other, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite color? And I remember one day I noticed, to my horror, that no one in my entire class chose orange. And I was so sad for orange.
I knew you were going to say this.
I felt so bad for Orange. It was not fair. And I just couldn't handle that Orange would
Color of
feel.
tigers and Garfield and basketballs and the fruit.
Honey, when I was in elementary school.
Without any love.
When I was in
It's
elementary
such a great color.
When I was in elementary school, there was no Garfield, okay? That's how old I am. There were tigers. They do predate me. But I just was so sad for Orange, and I couldn't. And having been the child that was often left out, I knew what that felt like. And so I said, my favorite color. I don't even think I told people. Like, I legitimately, for the sake of Orange, as if Orange had feelings, I think I was like 6 years old. I decided orange would be my favorite color. And I remember it was funny because I really didn't like it that much. But I like tried to, I convinced myself I did because orange needed me. It needed me because it didn't get me love.
I think it's one of those adorable Mandy stories that I've ever heard.
So did you talk yourself into it eventually? Or
I did.
Do you just like Orange as a friend?
I just kind of liked it as a friend. I think orange was my favorite color for a year or two. And then purple. Purple was the thing in middle school. It was also the 80s, you know.
Was it
so
really? Okay.
Well, for me, I don't know. My friend.
I just didn't realize that purple was an 80s color.
Well, I mean, the 80s were just, vibrant.
They were very vibrant.
So my friend, and I've never really been a fan of pink, so probably purple was my thing because pink was really my 80s. So my friend and I decided we were going to have a double wedding. And
as one does.
We had no boyfriends or interest in nobody was interested in us at the time. But we were going to have a double wedding, and my color was going to be lavender and hers was going to be like royal purple. And yeah, we had a whole thing. So I think
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, totally. Right, Peter? No. So anyway, so now my favorite color, and I can't even remember exactly how long it's been my favorite color, but it is entrenched in me. My favorite color above all else by miles is red. I absolutely love red. I have a hard time understanding why some people don't like red. My car is red. My phone is red. My walls are red that we're sitting in. Yes, this is
flower is red.
My favorite flower is, yes, that is true. Poppy. Yes. So, yeah, I just love red. It just makes me happy.
I think after this episode, you're going to have to dive into a little bit more when you decided your favorite color was red. And even up to December.
Color was red.
Because our wedding color was forest green, but that's because that was what was trendy. In the early 90s, forest green. Our sofas were forest green, and
That's true.
Our bridesmaids wore forest green.
That's true. Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But it's red, girl.
All right. I love it. We got red.
That was we both were very long-winded in our answer.
You know what? This is about color psychology. You guys are proving that there is a psychology involved in choosing colors.
Yes.
And before, I just need to say the reason I laughed so hard, Mandy, when you were talking about orange and feeling bad for orange is I know you're a 2 on the Enneagram. And
oh, yes.
And if our listeners know the Enneagram, it is the people pleaser. I love you. I want to help you. Let me be your friend. I will love you forever.
Yes, I had to help Orange. No one was helping Orange. It needed me.
It is one of the most adorable Murphy stories I have ever heard.
Thank you.
Yes. Gonna remember that one.
Okay.
So anyway, back to my favorite colors here.
Yes. What are yours?
Okay. So I thought about it a lot, and they really have not changed much since childhood. Pink and purple, for many reasons. But it was considered the girl color in some ways. But I thought a lot about it. I was like, yeah, but I just don't actually like the others very much.
Okay.
And it was pink and purple, and then it was mint green, not any other green.
Very specific.
Mint green, yeah, very specific.
Okay. Do you think it's because those are very gardeny colors? Were you always drawn to I know your mother was a gardener.
She wasn't actually.
Oh, she wasn't?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Why did I just assumed
You're thinking of my dad and I when in high school, he was like, we kind of had his landscaping thing together.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I made an assumption. That was a very That was a very gendered assumption of mine. But anyway.
No, it wasn't.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, but do you
Do I think it has to do with the gardening?
yeah, like flowers,
You know,
pink
it's
and purple?
interesting. I was thinking about that too. I think it definitely does now. I think green is actually my first favorite color now. And it's definitely come out since gardening, and I appreciate brown more than I used to, you know? So
Right.
working with the dirt and the green a lot. So I think colors do, like what we engage in does inform us, right? We're talking about like cultural associations. I'm sorry, that's a mouthful.
Cultural associations. We can do it.
But yeah, I mean, purple. I fell in love with that one too. And that was pretty early, and I don't know why, but speaking of lavender and royal purple, those were the colors of my wedding. So it was
No way.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. I bet you didn't have giant satin hearts like we planned.
No, did not
Oh,
have. But
okay.
that's because I purposely avoided hearts because we got married so close to Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, no hearts, no reds, no pinks. This is not going to be Valentine's Day.
Right.
So it was purple and silver. So.
Do you know what I was just realizing? I think when I think of the colors, purple is the only color that when I think of it, I feel like I can smell it.
Ooh, that's cool.
And I don't have synesthesia or anything. But like, don't you feel like
Yeah.
purple evokes like an aroma
I could see that.
mindset?
Is it because of those, Matt, when you played with those silly sense markers? Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah. Did you get high?
Nothing better than teaching young children to just sniff.
Sniff the markers.
Big, long.
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah, I have no idea the mindset behind that. Whatever.
Grape was a
Grape.
common one.
Which I will say, no candy or scent that is grape scented or grape flavored actually smells or tastes anything like an actual grape.
It doesn't, which is so funny.
Grape candy is a very different flavor than grapes. But anyway,
No, it's true. So purple and green. And
which those two together are stunning.
aren't they though?
Yeah.
I know. Purple, greens, and pinks. So, okay, so now that we've talked about our favorite colors, I want to establish for the listener, I don't know if I'm just going to go through a list of the common colors and their associations, because I think the listener probably will have heard them before, and they're very brief, but it seems to be, what's the word I'm looking for? It seems to be very consistent, color psychology,
Yes.
that these are kind of the associated meanings with the colors. So, and then I kind of want to hear if you two think that these favorite colors of yours sort of mesh with your personality. So here we go. We'll start with red. General associations: passion, energy, boldness, danger. Blue: calmness, trustworthiness, stability, peacefulness. Yellow: happiness, optimism, intelligence. Green: nature, growth, harmony, fertility.
No. Oh, sorry.
Orange: vitality, energy, and enthusiasm. Purple: creativity, uniqueness, royalty. Pink: love, kindness, femininity. Black: power, sophistication, mystery. White: purity, cleanliness, new beginnings.
So here's my question. Have you guys ever met anyone who said their favorite color was white?
My daughter.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Isn't that hilarious?
I'm filing that away for future little presents for Edith. No, because I mean, I know some people, their favorite color is black or whatever. I don't think I've ever met anyone.
Yeah.
Well, apparently I had. I just never asked her favorite color. What kind of fairy godmother am I? Anyway.
That's amazing. Yeah, but it's true though. It's not, I mean, and there's arguments to be made that, white, black, gray, they're not really quote unquote colors, but they kind of are for the purpose
Let's not
of,
argue about color.
for the purpose of the conversation and
For this, yes,
and
exactly.
for the fact that they do evoke emotional
They
responses.
do, definitely.
Yeah. So,
Right.
and of course, the one I didn't mention with black, of course, is grief, evil, death. That's one of the things
Right.
in
Right.
in the Western world. But I think in most of the world, because dark is associated with mystery and cover and concealment. So,
Right.
yes.
It's scary.
It is scary. So anyway, okay, so Matthew, you said no, that does not have anything to do with your personality.
It didn't strike me as that. What was it? Nature and what were the other ones?
It was nature, growth, harmony.
No.
Okay.
But there are negative connotations as well. Do you want to own
Oh, maybe
up to the negative?
just the negative connotations.
Just those.
Sickliness, fungus,
Envy.
envy, greed. There we go.
There it is. That's Matt in a nutshell. In a green nutshell. No.
The color of pond scum.
Algae.
Pond scum's pretty though, if you thought about it.
So which of those it is?
Says the
actually.
girl whose favorite color is green.
Yes. Matthew, was there one of the colors, one of the lists of like associations that you did resonate with, even though it's not your favorite color? Mr. Sunshine, was it yellow?
Oh gosh.
He didn't like red. but-
Optimism for yellow. No, that's a non-starter. Boldness and stability, no. Passion and energy, no. Vitality, no.
That is so not true. You have 4 children, you work full time, and you write. I think you're vital.
Thank you. Let's see. Oh, power, sophistication, and mystery. Maybe it's black. Purple, creativity and uniqueness, and royalty. There we go. I don't know.
Are you going to change your favorite color based on the associations?
Well, that is a question I had, because a lot of these I do not feel the green applies to me, and I wonder how generally applicable these are. And I did notice, Christina, you may have noticed this as well. A common bane of personality tests is the results are written so generally that they could apply to literally anyone.
like horoscopes?
Yeah, like I was looking through the personality results for green on this article you sent, and again, it's hard not to do, but let's do.
For you.
Well, the green seemed super flattering. It was like, oh, okay.
Ooh,
I'll take it.
My Enneagram 4 needs to hear what this flattering
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. A natural visionary, nonconformist, problem solver.
That's right. I
Oh,
do.
yes.
I do.
I think that fits you.
Oh, I shine for my intelligence. I love to learn new things
That's
and
true.
concepts. I abide by high morals.
That's
Okay,
true.
Thank you. I'm strong-willed. Oh, that's not. You will not give up easily. Oh, that's not true.
Wait, are
let's-
you really? But you're so competitive.
Oh, I give up all the time.
No, you don't. Says the 2 people that have to argue with you on a regular basis.
Let's
Good-naturedly.
see. Oh, natural visionary, nonconformist, problem solver, live by your own standards. High morals, good at organizing. Ooh, there it goes. No. My wife stands up for like she senses a disturbance in the force from our house. Like, nope, that one's not it.
Oh, that's funny. So you don't think green applies to
Well,
you?
I think I
what
could
we
talk
hear.
myself into it applying to me.
Okay.
But I'm not sure based on the short description it would. I just think. Well, can I give you my theory of the case why I like green?
Yes.
Okay. So I grew up here in Colorado, which is high desert, right?
And not green.
It's not very green. So especially like in the summer, there's enough trees. There's not, you'll find evergreen forest and all that stuff. But there will be parts of the year when most of the grass is like yellowish brown. There's the bare trees, and it's just green
Desolate.
is something like special. You find a green lawn, a green tree, it's precious. You just want to look at it, it's like, oh, how did you get your lawn this green?
Yeah.
It's almost like magical. So I think instinctively I need the green, or else it just seems desolate.
Yeah, I will say when because I was born in Georgia, which is like green, like
Green heaven.
green heaven. And the mosquitoes love it. So
Oh, yes.
but also the wet mountains which are in Colorado is like this oasis of green. It's just west of Pueblo. But I have found since I've lived in Colorado for, 18, 19 years, when I am in a place where the green is predominant, like Georgia or the wet mountains, it's like my eyes can rest. There's something it's almost like they're drinking it in. There's something so restful about the green when you haven't seen it for so long.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And of course, like the calmness that people experience with blue, it can be very interrelated with green. Peacefulness, nature, growing things. Yeah. So green and blue can have some
Blue
of that.
sky, water.
Right. Basically, you think of those two colors as the color of life, right?
Yeah,
You
life,
got the green, you got the growth, the food,
life and like coolness. Not cool like the fawns. Sorry if that was too old of a reference. But cool like refreshing.
Yes.
Can I tell you? This is a realization I made. You want to know my perfect color scheme?
Oh
I
yeah.
want you all to look at the University of Tulane's football team.
Okay, but I need to ask, here's the thing. Color scheme. As what? You decorate your house? Or you just like these three colors together?
It's like ASMR for my eyes.
Okay.
Like I just look at it, it's like, oh, there it is.
Okay.
Okay,
So their
so
colors are green, basically Green Ranger green, light blue, and royal blue.
oh, that's nice.
And then it's offset with like generous amounts of white, so it looks nice.
Oh,
It looks so
that
good.
is very cooling and
Oh,
peaceful.
I saw one of their helmets. It was like, that's it. Like my subconscious like brainstem's like, that's your color.
So are you a fan
that
of
out.
Tulane now?
I actually root for them because I like their color scheme.
See?
Just like your children.
Guys, color psychology. He roots
Oh,
for
for
them
sure.
because he likes their colors.
It makes
yeah.
my brain feel good to look at their helmet.
It's true.
Yeah, it's very real.
It is
yeah.
real. So going into that, there is a reason that marketing involves so much intentional choices in color. So I kind of wanted to go into that a little bit. As kind of I said, color, like the idea that colors affect us, that's like, it's impossible at this point to counter. Like it's been proven. And as Matt and you just said, like, oh, it's just like therapy for my brain looking at these colors. And so you think about colors in advertising, right? And because red can sometimes symbolize red really symbolizes, like, of course, the passion, the energy, but also the urgency. So a lot of clearance signs and like will have reds because you think, oh, hurry up, it's not gonna end. There's sort of this anxiety, there's an anticipation, like, oh, we gotta get there, right? So I think about that. And I think about like, I know there's like a lot of advertising for luxury products are done in black. And like my favorite like makeup store, I realized I've always kind of been drawn to it because it feels sort of other. It's Sephora, which for listeners, if you don't know, that's white and black. And it's like elegant lines, right? And like very simple font. So I think there's really a lot there. But I wanted to kind of talk about, I know we did not talk about your associations with red, Mandy, but I thought it was very interesting that the red can kind of promote like a lot of that anxiety and the anger and that sort of thing. But you just had this like love affair with red. So what is your reaction to personality and what you associate with red?
Well, ironically, I get really irritated when people act like red is so aggressive.
This is funny. Tell us more.
So I will say there are so many shades of red, and I am not into the bright orangey red, like the clearance sale red or the exit sign red. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking
How would you
about
associate those ones with urgency and with anxiety and with aggression?
Yeah, I'm not like drawn to those. I'm not gonna wear like super bright red, like or decorate with it. Like
But
the
do you dislike it? Or is it just like, not
dislike it. It's almost like a different animal to me. Like how royal purple would be different than lavender. Like the shade is a very different shade. So as you mentioned, the room we're sitting in, my front room is a brick red. This is not my favorite red, but I do love it, and it's a very calming kind of earthy color for me. It's very grounding. But the red of my car and my phone and other reds that I love is definitely more of a bluish red.
a bluish red.
Well, like if you think about like there are reds that have more yellow and there are reds that have more blue. And so I like the more blue red. So you know how some red has like a tinge of yellow to it, and then so it's like really bright, like the exit sign, like I just mentioned. But then the bluish red, it's not really purple, but it's just a deeper red. So like, oh, here's a really good example. For gemstones, I greatly prefer garnet to ruby.
Ooh, okay.
You know, and I love the color of red wine and like, which is really more of a purple. But you know, so purple is my second favorite color. So, but so I like the deeper part of red. And so when people say they don't like red because it's angry, like I just can't. It makes me angry. No, I'm kidding. That's not my relationship with red, is what I would say.
Well, and red is it's a color that can communicate a lot because it's also like, it seems to communicate, at least the vibrant color, which again, like you said, that's not the only shade of red, but vibrant red, it's rage, it's anger, it's passion, or it's romance, which different kind of passion, right?
Right.
So that can be used to communicate like both or one or the other. And then you have the different shades of it. Like if you lighten it up, it's a pink or like a dusty red or a brick red or a mahogany, like that can communicate. Like to me, a mahogany or a maroon communicates something very different from bright red.
Oh yeah, there's like a seriousness, like a library feeling to a maroon or a burgundy.
Well, again, I think that's partly where you can kind of go into like that sort of, if you're thinking of color hues and you're thinking, as a painter, someone who's actually working with these colors, right? You have to understand that these colors do blend. And so you aren't looking at, like a primary red, like, that's a primary color on the color wheel.
Right.
So you're actually looking at a way deeper mix of different colors. So what you're kind of describing, since you like a lot of purple reds, you actually could be more associated with some of the purple personality traits.
Yeah. I related most to the purple personality traits more than I did the red. I would say, and I think I said this to you when we were emailing back and forth, preparing for the episode, I said, I relate to the heart kinds of red personality associations, like love and passion and whatever. And feelings, but not so much I think one of the
aggression,
a desire for power, a desire to be like out in front, like, no, please put me on the team.
Sure.
I don't want to be in charge.
Don't put me on front and center.
Don't put me in, coach.
Right. No, it's fascinating. Yeah. I think.
But what about yours? How do you associate with do you resonate with the personality descriptions for the colors you love?
Yeah, I mean, I 100%, it's like, I think purple is completely accurate for me. Creativity, uniqueness, and that sounds funny as I say that out loud. But I say that as a pour on the Enneagram.
It's true, and listeners know that. You're good.
I'm a unicorn.
Yeah. Yep. I am.
Anyway.
Yes. No one is like me.
No, but I'm an artist, right?
Yeah.
So I do sort of see that in myself. Royalty, I've always loved the idea that purple's royal. I've all kind of thought of it that way. So yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Green, some of it, the nature,
Of
very
course.
much identify with that. So
Do you mostly like green associated with pink and purple, do you think?
no, actually not as no. Actually, oddly enough, I like green
For itself.
I know.
Green is very happy to hear that.
I know. It used to be just mint green, and now I've expanded my friendships. So my friendships are all but green.
I was worried about green. It needed your approval.
I think that's fair. So, okay, so speaking of colors, have you guys heard of chromotherapy or color therapy?
No, tell me more.
Have you, Matthew?
I have not. I can't imagine I would respond to it well. Sit in this room and look at this color. How does this color make you feel? It makes me feel ripped off.
You said you had your favorite color combo, which was green therapy.
That's a good point. Okay, never mind. Fair enough.
Mr.
Okay, continue.
I think he's
So funny.
a little bit contrary. That's what I'm
It's not that
hearing.
purple thing to do.
Oh my goodness, this is so fun. But it's true. It's one of those things. I think we make so many associations without realizing it. So chromotherapy is a way, it's more of an alternative sort of medicine approach where you do sort of engage with colors in order to alter your body's chemistry. So
Your body's chemistry. Wow.
yeah, so kind of it goes with the idea that our bodies run on like some electricity, right? So there's just electric kind of signals going through our body constantly, and different colors have different sort of frequencies, like, you know. Yeah. So the argument is that exposing ourselves to different frequencies can actually sort of alter our kind of state of being, in the sense of like, are we constantly anxious? Are we constantly depressed? So kind of it's the idea is sort of balance out your body's sort of natural like frequency.
Right.
So that's what chromotherapy is. It kind of is a science-based psychology, you know, sometimes religious, I'm sure, approach. But anyway, it's very interesting. I think there's a lot of things to kind of take away from it. I've never personally tried it, but I do think there's something there.
Well, yeah, I mean, I took a class in college because I was a psychology major, and brain and behavior was a really cool class. It was so hard. But one of the things, going back to marketing, if you look, fast food restaurants are brightly colored because people can't relax. You don't want them to relax. You want them to grab the meal and get out. You want them to turn over tables. So the fast casual place you're going to wants to be, the faster they want to be, the brighter the colors. They're probably going to use red and yellow. So, I mean, yeah.
Mickey
Yes, McDonald's. Hello, golden arches are golden for a reason. Anyway, but yeah, so the chromotherapy. So what kinds of physical effects is it supposed to have?
Well, I mean, I think what the kind of idea is that if you're sort of like adrenaline hyped, or your cortisol levels are whacked out, it's causing a whole bunch of health problems.
They're not going to put you in a room with red and yellow.
Right. They're going to try to they're going to try to like calm that. Right. They're going to try to.
For me, they're like, hey, here is the
Tulane football helmet.
Look at this. And I'm like, I feel better already.
Here's your $100. Thanks. Will Medicare cover? Medicaid cover?
Yeah. So I'm sure, it can get, I'm sure it's more involved. I've never done it, like I said, but it's a very interesting concept, and I think there's a lot of science to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because God made us. I mean, He made colors for a reason.
Yeah, and they do change us. I mean, you look at the poets of old, and so many poems are about flowers, if you think about it. And those have the most color that we engage with. We talked about the history of color. We talked about
that's a really good point. That was the best.
The main way
main way to engage with color was nature. Flowers.
Flowers, yeah.
Huh.
And that was what much of the poetry and the writing and the art and the songs were about.
Well, and if you also look at other areas, that it's also becoming very well established that a lot of ancient Greek statues were originally painted. They're painted very bright.
Oh yeah, I heard that recently, and I was blown away.
They look very garish because they can tell with like scraps of the color pigment that still remain there. They can recreate the color. You look at it's like, that looks pretty tacky, actually.
Yeah.
But part of that is, if you're in the ancient world, you have access to colors. Like you said, flowers. Like medieval peasants really liked bright colors, and they would dye their clothing different colors using things in nature. But it was very hard to get that very bright, vibrant color.
And since the material itself held the color better, and that was like for the richer people. Yeah.
Yep.
So if you can go and see a statue that's painted really, really bright green or red or yellows, like that would be a really, really cool and really awe-inspiring thing for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That is very true. Yeah, color.
Well, and also, I mean, color is all about light, right? Like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not good at all that stuff. But I remember that much, that the reason we see color is because of some interaction between light and darkness in our eyeballs, right? That was so scientific. I just blew all the listeners away. Woo! You're welcome.
And all of that stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff.
The speed of light, you guys. Oh my gosh.
Something about why
Seeing images
sunsets
upside down first,
right.
All those things.
You're
The
welcome.
interesting thing about this too is there's synesthesia, right? And there's
Yes.
like associations that we make. And speaking of how we encounter color and how it enters our eyes, there's a way that these associations affect us. And so I know my sister, without even realizing it, saw every single day of the week as a different color. My mother saw numbers as having colors. We have a friend who associates a color with a person. Once she meets them, they're a color for the rest of her knowing them. And she said the only thing that ever changes that is if they go through some deep, like, emotional transitory experience in their life, and then sometimes her color association with them will change. But there's just something about colors and why we engage them.
Yeah. Well, and two of the most brilliant musicians I know, one of which we interviewed on the podcast a long time ago, Brian White, and my friend Bart, they have perfect pitch and they are brilliant musicians. And I found out, and shouldn't have been surprised at all, that both of them have synesthesia. And in that color and music, when they hear music, they see color.
Yes.
And
Yes. There was, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
keep going.
no, that was it.
No, there was a famous painter, and I'm dying, can't remember.
Was it George Seurat, maybe?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, he was one of the fathers of the abstract arts. And
Okay.
Why else I wish I did. We have a children's book, of course, about him. Of course, I can't remember his name. But anyway, he went and heard a symphony, and he just said the colors are talking, and he could not paint them. And so to a lot of people, it's like, what the heck is this? He was trained in all of the, the realism and stuff. But anyway, he was one of the fathers of sort of abstract art, and it was because of synesthesia.
Right.
Because music had sound. Or I'm sorry, music
color.
had color.
Yeah.
So, but like back to like intentionally evoking emotional responses to colors, i.e. chromotherapy, etc. I want to close this episode with talking about Mark Rothko. We had talked about him in the very beginning, but I want to talk a little bit about him. He had this very, very unique approach to painting and wanting his audience to engage with his painting. So if the listener doesn't know who Mark Rothko is, I'm just going to read a little bit about him here just so you have context.
And do a Google image search while she's doing it. You'll instantly recognize the painting.
You go, oh, that guy.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes, so even if you've never heard of the guy or knew his name, you'll know his paintings.
Yes.
He was, so Mark Rothko was one of the central figures, of abstract expressionist movement in American art in the 1950s and 60s. His contemporaries were Jackson Pollock, Clifford Still, William de Kooning, Helen Frankenthaler, and Barnett Newman. He was actually Russian, and he immigrated to the United States with his family. So his art was really deeply influenced by the tragedies of World War II. And his later work, the stuff that we're talking about tonight, is kind of the final product of his artistic journey into wrestling with grief and tragedy. And he really wanted to invite his viewers to do the same. So he eventually committed suicide at age 66 in 1970s. Yeah, it was really tragic. But it was such an interesting approach. So he has on his bio at the Mark Rothko. I don't know why it's a tongue twister for me tonight. On markrothko.org, there's a bio. And this is what it said about him. By the 1950s, Rothko had arrived at his signature style. Working on a large vertical canvas, he painted several colored rectangles of color, floating against a colored background. Within this formula, he found endless variations of color and proportion, resulting in different moods and effects. Rothko's use of broad, simplified areas of color, rather than gestural splashes and drips of paint, caused his style to be categorized as color-field painting. He painted in thin, layered washes of color that seemed to glow from within, and his large-scale canvases were intended to be seen at close range so that the viewer would feel engulfed by them. Close quote. So his goal was really to engage his audience in experiencing their deepest emotions, their ecstasies and their griefs and visceral experiences. He actually noted that many people would stare at his paintings and then burst into uncontrollable weeping because they confronted an emotion buried deeply within themselves. It was just brought on purely by encountering the color on the canvas. And they said this, but he actually really wanted people to stand up really close to his paintings for like a very fully immersive experience. So it's so fascinating. So listeners, if you have not Googled, do now. You'll recognize it. So question for you guys. Have you seen a Rothko painting in person?
Yeah, and when we talked about this in the green room, and we were talking about him wanting people to stand up close, like I actually realized that typically, especially with like a Hudson River School painting, you're going to stand way back. You got to look at that, the landscapes, you got to look at that from afar off. But I had never thought about it before, but I've never, when looking at a Mark Rothko, you know what? His name is a tongue twister. That was not your fault.
Thank you.
Mark Rothko. Stop that. Mark Rothko paintings, I do feel drawn forward rather than compelled to stand back and get a broader view. So that's really interesting that he was so successful in like beckoning and like wanting us to step forward and be absorbed.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think Rothko is a classic case of where seeing images of it online doesn't really tell the whole picture because a part of it is the vibrancy of the colors, the intensity of it, and the experience of being that close to it. And you can get sort of a feel pro just, scan it through some images, but it's not the full thing. So
It's very big in scale and
yeah,
black too.
yeah.
Yes, they're very big. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't seen one in person. Of course, after learning more about him, I really want to. Because I really have been moved by colors. What we didn't talk about were colors that we really hated. And I think we kind of need to do that because I do have some very strong dislike for certain colors. But it's very interesting because some people have said that in his later work, he went into more of a sort of depressive spiral, and he did commit suicide, and he painted a lot more blacks and grays towards the end of his life.
Interesting.
And so it's been critiqued, oh, that's because he's depressed, and other people are like, no, that was very intentional. It wasn't because of his depression, etc. But it is a very interesting phenomenon. But I wanted to ask you guys, I know some people might criticize his art for being manipulative, but others would kind of say it's deeply honest and raw. I would definitely go with the latter. But I want to know, how does his approach feel to you guys?
Well, I don't think the manipulative thing holds a whole lot because art is supposed to manipulate your emotions in at least one sense.
Agreed.
Yeah, and what you were saying about least favorite colors.
Yes,
it's
yeah.
kind of funny that I'm glad you brought this up because you may have been wondering why I was doodling on my iPad during a lot of this. I was trying to find my least favorite color, and I will now show you the results, Christine. The one with the arrow is my official least favorite color.
Oh, that is a terrible
Which
color.
is...
It's orange. Poor orange!
No, it's not.
It's
orange.
not.
It's like a
particular
yellowy
shade.
orange.
Basically, it's sort of like the University of Tennessee Volunteers.
That
It's
was my
slightly-
mother's alma mater. How dare you?
I think she would understand on this, but it's not quite as vibrant. It's a less vibrant version, slightly more yellow version of Tennessee, and it's kind of weed color, like weeds in a field when the sun's hitting them at a certain angle.
You don't
and
like
there's
that
no
color?
green. The thing is, I don't hate the color. Like if I was in a room with this color, I wouldn't be like upset, but
Okay.
I was just looking at it, I was like, that's
Yeah.
the one. That's the one. It's a slightly less vibrant Tennessee Volunteers. And no offense to our many Tennessee listeners, but you all know. You know your color, right?
I am so offended right now.
Okay. So this is good because this is kind of the last exercise that I wanted us to do together in kind of imitating something that Rothko might have wanted. So, Matt, imagine that color. Mandy, pick your least favorite color. I will picture mine.
Mandy, what's your least favorite color?
I think probably like a really pukey green. Like,
Ooh, that's a good
A puke green?
like a pukey green. Like it's green. It's like olive green, but with extra yellow.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking
Blah. Yeah.
Yep.
Like way overcooked canned asparagus.
Okay. There you go.
That's-
I could see that. All right. So if
It has a
close-
smell. Do I have synesthesia? No, I'm kidding.
and smell. Has a
It
smell.
does.
Ooh,
No,
right.
it's okay.
Okay, so if you close your eyes
Yes.
and you guys each imagine, and I will do, your least favorite color in front of you.
Wait, what's your least favorite color?
Blue.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
I know. It's a whole thing. I have to go into it. Okay. So I'm sorry.
Matthew just found my gross color online and showed it to
This is
me.
this is actually this is the color I picked as my least. Do we have the same least favorite color, man?
That's not your
Oh my
least favorite.
goodness.
It looks green to me.
Green there.
Oh, it does. Huh.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
That's interesting.
Oh, that is.
It's a color that can't
fascinating.
make up its mind. That's why
Yeah.
it bothers me.
So for listeners, Matthew just put an entire
Yeah.
rectangle
My least favorite color.
But it looked
on
like
a
my
screen,
least favorite
like
color.
Rothko.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So okay. So if you close your eyes and imagine it.
Okay.
Imagine standing in a quiet place, just you in this color for 15 minutes, staring
No.
at it. Staring at it.
I don't want to.
Do you have visceral reactions? Is there something?
I feel the vomit coming out of my throat. Then I look down at the vomit, realize it's the same color.
This is really funny because I really do feel like a gross smell again. Like it's very like pungent and acidy and like
Okay.
making my nose twitch. I don't. Bleh. I don't like it.
Well, that's interesting. Because
Get me out.
Think of the naturalistic connections here. Like green, it's the color of vegetation, trees, nature. Blue, color of the sky, of water. Red, color of blood, of emotions. Orange, yellow, color of like fire, it's energy. And this, this color that is very similar to me and Mandy's least favorite color is actually the color of like vomit and pus. Like it's a color that we associate with ill health, with
Yeah.
bad smells.
Like you ruined the asparagus, chef.
Exactly. So you can see it's like naturalistically why we would have these connections with it.
Yeah, true.
Okay, but if you had to stand and stare at it for 15 minutes, and you weren't allowed to like look away.
I can't close my eyes.
No.
Look up while you're vomiting.
But God gave me eyelids. Okay, what?
What? Yeah, so this is where he'll be like, that's manipulative. Yeah.
It's okay,
that's
but
kinda
what's
where
your
I'm
question?
wondering- Well, that's what I'm wondering. What would be, if you were faced with it for 15 minutes, after the 15 minutes were up, and someone said, what do you feel like? What would you say?
I would like want a drink of water, and I would want, and I would want like, look at me, I'm sitting here blinking. I would be like, give me something else to look at. My eyes did not like that.
Yeah, like honestly, I associate this sort of color with being like hot, not having any shade, being thirsty, some dust being in my mouth.
Yeah.
So I would feel after the 15 minutes, I'd be like, I want to be in the shade. I want to be somewhere green. I want to look at the Tulane football helmet. I want to have like a big thing of like, I need like a soda or something.
Somebody
A
bring
nice cold
me.
soda.
Somebody bring me an old fashioned with a good dark red Luxardo chair.
That's a good call.
That's what I want.
That's a good call.
Which is really more purple than red.
See, it's funny because I'd imagine if you're feeling nauseous, like after looking at all that, like you wouldn't want anything like that. Like you'd be like,
Whiskey settles the stomach.
Okay, all right. That's very cool. Well, for me, if I had to do blue, like, so the thing with blue, there's like
Standing outside under a cloudless sky, Christine's like, "Oh no!"
It's not that.
Looking at the ocean.
Let her speak.
Sorry. You're right, Mindy.
Yes, I am.
Oh man. The funny thing is, I adore the ocean. But here's the thing: the sky and the ocean make me feel really lonely.
Oh,
Really
okay.
lonely.
That's a different.
They
Okay.
make me feel. It's not just that though.
Okay.
Blue in general makes me feel really depressed.
Like said, there's a sadness and
Okay.
is it
That
like an
makes sense.
emptiness?
There's an emptiness.
And a vastness, because the sky and the ocean are both vast. Is that some kind of...
There's a vacancy.
Okay.
There's a melancholy. There
That
starts.
does make sense.
Okay.
Yeah, it starts to be like there's nothing to live for. Like it's just
Oh,
I
wow.
get deep into this like unpleasant space. It
Okay.
does not exist. Like just
Wow.
awful.
So do not send Christina to the Bahamas.
See, okay, but there's the thing because when you mix sunlight with water, it can be a very different experience for me.
Oh, that's true.
So yeah.
Okay.
So, but then it's interesting because I think a part of the reason I need the mountains so much and not the plains is because when I see the plains, it's just meeting the plains with the blue sky. And that's depressing. I can't.
Okay, so no Kansas, no Nebraska.
No Nebraska, no Kansas, Chicago, no Illinois. Like,
Right.
I can't. Yeah. So,
Okay.
so yeah. So I think if Mark Rothko were to say, all right, sit here 15 minutes, stare at this, I would come out feeling very surprised.
Really sad.
Yeah.
And that is interesting because we talked earlier about how red can mean almost opposite things depending on the context, right? It can mean rage, it can mean love.
Right.
Blue can mean peace and tranquility and depression. Like blue's often used as a symbol for depression.
Yeah, I'm blue. Blue Christmas. I'll have a blue Christmas.
Yeah, a term for being sad is
Being blue.
Same thing with green. It can mean life, it can mean vitality, it can also mean sickliness.
Or envy. Or, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. It can turn on you like that.
Context really matters with these things.
Wow.
It's very interesting, right?
Yeah.
So,
I feel like we're about to close. I just have one thing I need to say that doesn't have anything to do with anything, but I just feel like it needs to be said.
Okay.
One of my great uncles, his favorite colors were red and purple. So literally every day he would wear only red and purple.
Together.
When I was a kid, I was like, that's just sort of, that's my uncle, great uncle being my uncle. But then later on, I was like, that's really strange.
Yeah, those two.
And I just-
Was he
And
colorblind?
it was in the 70s, so it'd be like a leisure suit. So it'd be like purple leisure suit with like a red, like flared collar.
I have a feeling he might have been colorblind. I'm just saying.
I just felt like that needed to be said.
I
we
did.
didn't even talk about colorblindness.
Yeah, my dad was colorblind. He couldn't tell the difference between green and purple.
My dad's colorblind. My son's colorblind.
It's
my sister's
interesting.
colorblind.
Your sister, that's rare.
It is unusual.
Wow.
Because it's usually
very
men.
unusual.
And anyway,
But yeah, I mean,
I think we have a part 2 in the works.
There are many things about color. So,
Yeah.
listeners, I hope that if you take away something from this podcast, that you will go forward thinking more deeply about color in your own life. Will you notice it more? Will you pay closer attention to how your body reacts to different colors? Will you start to see it more around you? And if so, what will it say about you? So, yes, things are winding down at the Anselm Society Digital Pub. The fire is down to embers, the customers are trundling home, and you've polished off your final glass. And perhaps you were, mulling over the nuanced color of your golden mead, or the rich red of your wine, or the earthy brown of your beer. Who knows? And if not, perhaps you will next time. Once again, Believe to See is a podcast of the Anselm Society Arts Guild. To find out more about the Anselm Society, please visit us at anselmsociety.org. And while you're at it, please rate and review the show on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you again for joining us, and we will see you next time.